Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices, and you can sign up for product alerts. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here, and I am joined again by my friend
Greg Dixon, thanks for having me.
And we're almost halfway done with this list.
Yeah.
60 to 51. Now, if you haven't seen the previous video that was released a few days previous, I did a 60 to 51. It was just me alone, where I actually explained how the games worked that were on my list and then told you why pretty briefly they're on the list. But this is about Greg and I talking about more in depth of our experiences with the game, whether he liked them or not, whether he has them or not, whether I'm an idiot or not. So, without further ado, here we go at number 60. All right, number 60. This is a pure negotiation game.
Ooh, I like negotiation.
It's pure negotiation, and you are people of different countries trying to get your secret agenda through.
Article 27?
Jeez, this was an easy one for you, huh?
Yeah.
Article 27.
Best at 3, wouldn't you say?
No. Well,
No?
3 is interesting because I think you each get to be
You
the
get to
person
twice.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there's more negotiation with more players.
Yeah, there's more room. I like it better with the higher player counts because there's more, more things to. With 3, too often you could be like, okay, I'm gonna do black, green, and blue. Everyone's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like it can happen.
Maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah, but I do like
But
what you're
not
saying.
6.
3 players actually. Most negotiations don't work well with 3.
Yeah, but the fact that it does work at 3 is good.
That actually goes against the one thing I don't like about the game, which is whoever is like the quote unquote, like, I forget the name of the person is, it's like running the deal.
Yeah.
Whoever is that first is a severe disadvantage because people haven't built up a lot of money yet and they're less likely to be throwing money around.
Right.
So when it comes to whoever is that like last or second to last ends up making more money. And so like the game, I would say it's probably not balanced in that regard, but 3 fixes that because you each get to be it twice.
I always enjoy this one. I don't think it's a top 100 contender for me because there are some of those little things that feel not as polished as I'd like. And there's just other games that have negotiation and stuff that I like better.
Yeah.
So I think this one has slipped with time, but I always enjoy it. It's always a good time. I've talked to a bunch of people. Everyone seems to like it. It's always good for a laugh, so I can see why it's high, although this is really high.
Yeah. I have such great memories of playing this with my cousins.
Yeah.
And it's just so fun. It's like, oh, I'm going to put blue and black. You put blue in, I'm going to veto. Just these crazy moments where people just get so mad. And like the whole vetoing thing in this is great, where you can threaten to screw the threat of screwing the entire deal for everybody.
Yep.
And even if it's not that bad for you, you just want to like throw a monkey wrench in the thing.
This is, with the right people, it's elevated. I feel like with the right group, it's like better than the game should be.
Yes.
Because there's that element.
But it could fall flat.
It can, it's very group dependent.
There's nothing else in this game but negotiation.
Yeah, so if people just aren't feeling that, then you can just be like, okay, well, I'm going to do this.
Yeah,
Everyone
I have had a play or two this where it did fall a little flat.
I think that's why it started to slip for me a little bit too, is because there's been some plays that aren't as good as others. But with the right group, which is like the people we game with,
if we played
this game shines.
Later tonight, with the people that are coming over later tonight, we would have the time of our lives.
Yes, it would be very fun, for sure.
All right, pure negotiation, Article 27. Wow, this video has been called Debunking Dan's Top 100, or 101 Best Games of All Time, and you've done a little debunking, but not too much. This one is probably the only one on this list, or maybe even the only one up until this point that you like actually dislike.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
This is
Let the debunking begin.
This is a 2-player only game.
Okay.
Where you're, I don't want to give it up too easy. It's got a feeling of drafting of a la Seven Wonders Duel style, where you can see certain things, but you can't see other things, and you're trying to manipulate this. And you're trying to manipulate these wooden blocks and take the right ones where the opponent gets stuck taking things that you want them to take.
Oh my god!
And it's all about creating poker hands.
Oh, it's just that pyramid poker or whatever it's called.
Pyramid poker.
It just never clicked for me. I know people like it. I've only played it a couple times, but...
Did you? And you don't have to even know how to play poker with this, because it really has
I'm
nothing to
not
do
a
with
poker
it.
player at all. I mean, I know the basic poker hands, I think, as well as anybody, but I wonder if that's part of why I don't like it as much. I wonder if it was reskinned as something else.
Yeah.
I don't know what that would be, but some other generic
weird, like,
set collection
collection
thing. Yeah. I need to play it again before I would really say, like, I think this is junk.
Because I love the drafting aspect of Seven Wonders Duel.
Yeah.
But I can't play Seven Wonders Duel with just like any Joe Schmo that comes off the street. There's too much going on.
Yeah, this is definitely this has that familiarity of poker hands, which people know. Whereas Seven Wonders Duel, even though I think the scoring is simpler than Seven Wonders, it's still not like a gateway level.
Yeah.
So I agree with you there.
That's why I love this, because it makes me feel like I'm playing half of Seven Wonders Duel without all the complexities.
And if I remember right, like you can see only
Half
some of the
them.
faces.
You can see half of the faces.
And remind me why you would. Do you take ones that only show the face to the other side for some reason?
Sometimes you have to, because
Okay.
you're like, there's no good thing. Like like as you see in this picture up there, you end up seeing like half of your hand, and you don't see the other half. So at the beginning, you have this plan, but if the other person takes one of the blocks that you wanted to take that you can see, then it kind of screws things up.
So is there a lot of luck with just like, well,
There
I
is
can't
some
see
luck.
anything that works, so I'm going to take this blank block and hope it's good?
That is, because typically you just have to win.
That might be part of why I didn't
You have
like
to
it.
win 2 of 3 hands.
Okay.
So usually one hand, someone comes out strong on, and you're like, well, I'm probably not going to win that hand, so I have like a throwaway.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go strong on one hand here, probably they'll do the same.
Okay.
And then it always comes
That's
down to
right.
that last hand.
You're working on 3 hands simultaneously.
It's really cool.
Okay.
Anyway, I know this is one that you didn't like.
It was just there for me. That's my recollection of it. I can't remember. I can't be articulate as to what was not good or bad about it.
When I was making the graphics for this the other day, at the last big game night we had, someone was like, it was like 2 in the morning or something. Someone was like, hey, you want to play Pyramid Poker? And I was watching you because I knew it was on my list. And you're like, let's find something else. I was like, whoa!
I can't remember. I think I ended up playing Miyabi instead or something else.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But yeah. Yeah, like I said, I can't articulate.
Come on, you got to be meaner. This is the only one you haven't liked.
I just remember it being like, okay, that happened. Like there wasn't anything there to grab me. Yeah. Especially if you're putting it in the same bucket as something like Seven Wonders Duel, which is just like premium.
Well, they're not in the same buckets.
But I mean, as far as like drafting and set collection, I mean, there's just no comparison.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't play these with the same people.
No, that's fair, but I wouldn't play this at all.
This is like my secret Seven Wonders Duel when I play with like a general person.
Yeah, and then you can like quickly move to a good game and play that with them instead. Okay, you played that. Now let me show you a really good one called Seven Wonders Duel.
Yeah, it'll only make your brain explode.
A little bit, just a little bit.
Pyramid Poker 59. All right, number 58. This is a real-time deduction game.
Real-time deduction
There's
game.
not many of those.
As opposed to turn-based?
Yes, it is a real-time deduction game where you're trying to accomplish a bunch of goals all in one round. All these different rules that you're trying to follow. And it's based on these little marble-like spheres. And you're stacking them.
Dimension. Dimension. How did I not think of that sooner? It's been a while since I played this one. Dimension is good.
This is one of those ones that I walk, well, and I have.
Yeah.
If you walk into Barnes & Noble or Target, well, I don't think it's at Target, but if you walk into Barnes & Noble, I've seen that before, and you see this, nothing is like, I gotta play this.
Well,
like,
but gamers go, ooh, Cosmos.
That is
so that
very
helps.
True.
Deduction. Isn't it like there's goals and you have to set it up in real time?
Maybe induction is the
Okay,
better
I was
word.
like, I think that's what threw me because I'm like, how is this deduction?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Induction.
It's about seeing a goal and in real time trying to achieve, but it's multiple goals at the same time.
It's like 6 of them at once.
It's like you need to have orange and whites together, but you can't be on top of each other or whatever, and you're like, wait, how do
You have to have the same amount of greens as blues.
Yes.
Black cannot touch green.
Yeah, and
like,
blues need to touch greens, and it's just like, wait a minute. And
What?
so, and then it's all real time, so you're trying to simultaneously, this is not for everybody. No. Some people are going to hate this, because you're simultaneously trying to achieve multiple goals that they don't conflict with each other, but they don't always fit together nicely.
Sometimes they can conflict, and then you can play two ways.
I think
you can get rid of them.
I think, it says just to, if they conflict, it takes one.
But the cool thing about this is if you get all 11 spheres and you get your goals, you get this bonus chip.
Yeah.
Or if you don't miss a goal, you get a bonus chip.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to get these because there's a set collection like scaling thing at the end where if you don't get at least 3 of them, you're getting like negative points. So
it's hard.
There's like enough game there that you're trying to figure out, do I push my luck and try to really finish this?
Yeah.
And get,
I played this a lot.
Do you own this one?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I've played it a bunch, and it's still a challenge every time. It's not like you get to a point where like, oh, I know this game, I'm great at it. Because it's always a new challenge because you have a different mix of the bonuses. This is a good call. All right. I'm improving so far. You're getting closer to 1.
I wouldn't be surprised if you were surprised this was on my list.
You know,
because it's a logic
It's
game.
not one I think about that often because I haven't played it in a long time. But it doesn't surprise me now that I see it for sure. This is a good call.
Don't let the box fool you.
Yeah, I think it's underrated, and that might be part of the reason. But it's very divisive too. Don't just buy this.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, I tend to agree with Dan, I tend to like his stuff, I still wouldn't say just buy this.
I'd say if you
play it first if you can.
If you like logic,
yeah,
and you don't mind being on the gun of a timer, you'll probably love it.
Yeah, but that excludes a lot of people, don't you think?
Sure it does.
Like there's a big swath of gamers or just people in general that hate real time. Like as soon as you're like, oh, this is like a real time, they're like, whoa, wait, I didn't know we were doing real time.
Yeah.
People are used to taking turns.
Yeah.
And then that on top of trying to do this like spatial 3-dimensional puzzle. I mean, how many people are just like tune out?
And I typically hate 3-dimensional puzzles. Like
really?
The ones like 3-dimensional Tetris style things.
Okay.
I don't see those well.
Interesting.
But
okay.
this is just stacking a bunch of balls, essentially.
It should just be called ball stacking, the game.
No, I always say this game should be called "Oh no," because you think you have it right, and the timer runs out, and you go, "Okay, I did this rule, I did this rule," and then you go, "Oh no!"
Yes.
They should have just labeled it "Oh no."
It probably would sell better.
Probably
with that kind of like mass markety style title. Oh no, that happens absolutely every time.
I'm kind of surprised you do own this one because you don't tend to like logic stuff.
I don't tend to like deduction because it feels too much like work, but I do like spatial puzzles.
Yeah.
I like Enigma. I like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of some other ones. My brain just went blank. But like Santorini even, where it's kind of like there's a spatial element and you're looking a few turns ahead. Yep. And I love real time. And I think that's part of what sold me on this too, is because I tend to enjoy
it keeps the game
real-time.
moving too.
Well, it keeps simultaneous.
It tense. It doesn't take any longer for the max player count of 4 to play than 2, and you can play it solo too, by the way.
People complain about real like multiplayer solitaire games where it just feels like you're doing your own thing, and I feel like just throwing a real time element automatically is like, oh, now I'm invested, and it's just that much more tense, and I'm that much more engaged.
Yeah.
And so I tend to think that if you can, without it being gimmicky, if you can add a real time element to a game, that instantly gets me more engaged.
Yeah, but it also, like you said, instantly makes
cuts
everybody hate it.
out a bunch of people.
Which is why some games recently have come out with like both. Like Pendulum last year was like, here's the real time, this is the real game, but if you want to play it turn-based, here's how you can do it. Right. Because a lot of people hate real time.
They do?
I love it.
I think it just ratchets up the tension, which I prefer.
Because real time and speed games are like the only games I'm any good at.
That's true, man. I've taught you
Those are the only ones.
I taught you was a Tessin.
Yes.
And I thought, I played this a few times. I'm pretty good at it. And you were just like, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, oh, crap. He's got a knack for these.
I can move fast. I can think fast. That's about it. Anything else, I'm done. All right, Dimension, number 58. All right, number 57 is a social deduction game.
All right. That's my kind of deduction. It's social deduction.
That narrows it down. This is a game that's been printed a bunch of times with different names and even themes.
Oh, really?
And it's actually been reprinted again just in this last year. It's one that we've actually played recently where you're trying to...
trying to remember what social deduction games you've already said.
I'm trying not to give you too many clues. Because if I tell you that, this is one that plays even really well with small player counts.
Insider?
Nope.
Werewords?
No, and this is one that he's just going to name every social deduction game.
So Hell Hydra, Mayday, Avalon.
This is one. Okay, so in this you are. It's either both Cthulhu themed or bomb themed.
Time Bomb. Yeah. Or Don't Mess with Cthulhu.
Yes. Oops.
Oh
man!
Sneak preview.
Oh man! Time Bomb.
Dude, Time Bomb, I just went to the Dice Tower retreat recently. We played this a bunch. I think people really enjoyed it. I love teaching it. It's so simple. It's like the lightest social deduction game maybe there is. Yeah. Because it's just, hey, just clip a thing, see if you blow up or not,
Yeah, pretty much that's it.
But yeah, you can sometimes get good information. It's still super engaging. It's crazy tense. We talked about tension with Dimension or real-time games. I like that in games. I like that feeling of, oh crap, am I going to pull this off or not? And Time Bomb has that with this really dirt simple rule set.
Yeah, and Time Bomb itself wasn't available in North America. It was Don't Mess with Cthulhu, which is still available.
It's the same game.
It's the same game. It's just
reskinned. But I've played both with like the same people, and people like this one better.
It's just the theme's
I don't know why.
Now they did just recently come out with Time Bomb Evolution, which is available in North America, and we played both that and this back to back, and we both feel that Evolution took a lot of the fun out of the game.
Well, I don't know what it was.
It's more thinky. There's more going on.
Right. So on paper, you'd think, oh, this is like an evolution of Time Bomb. I should like this more. This is more of a gamer's version. But it just kind of, because in this game you could just lose instantly with one bad move.
Love that.
You're always on the edge of your seat. And I think Evolution takes that out.
Yep.
And so even though, and I wouldn't dissuade people from playing Evolution. I think they're both great games.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we played this a bunch of times, then we played Evolution.
And then we
played this again. And as soon as we play this again, we go, that game is missing whatever this has.
But there will be people who will like the Evolution version better.
Possibly, yeah.
So I wouldn't say don't play that if that's the only one you can find or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's still fun.
This one we had to import in from Europe.
Yeah. After we played it, one of our friends was like, I want to get this, and he found it, and we're like, okay, pick up a copy for me too, and we all like paid him back later because we all wanted a copy for our own collections.
Yep.
You got to stop putting stuff on your list no one can get, man.
I know. Time Bomb, number 57.
French viewers, pick it up.
Or if you want to import it from Europe.
Yeah.
It's worth it. Just get it. All right, the amazing Kruskin's here.
I feel a fabled fruit in my future.
This is bull. I hit the button too early last time.
Okay.
Fabled Fruit.
I don't remember if I even played this. I think I have.
It was many years ago.
Okay.
It was on our back porch with Meeple Lady and Kat from Glory Hound.
Oh, okay.
This is Friedemann Friese's...
It's a bad sign that I don't remember it.
Yeah. This is Friedemann Friese's...
Sell me on it.
This is the beginning of the Fabled system.
Yeah.
Which is not a legacy game, but it does make sure every game is different. This is...
And it teaches you as you go, right?
Well, yeah.
You flip a card and it says, do this now.
Oh, yeah, that's how the Fabled system, the card games, that's how they were born from this. But the reason why this is on my list, a couple of reasons.
Okay.
It is my favorite entry-level teach somebody how to play worker placement games. I could teach the beginning of this worker placement with somebody who's played nothing but Uno.
Wow.
Because it's simple at first. But as the game goes on, what happens is, as players are getting fruits and stuff, each of these animals have like a little special ability, like draw two cards. So I go to the hippo and the hippo says draw two cards.
Yeah.
Or I go over here and it says swap a card with the market. So like it's just simple thing.
Yeah.
But as the game goes and as you make these little like smoothies, those animals go away and new ones come out. And the game slowly gets more complex.
Right.
But the really cool thing is, if you play this game with different groups, different animals are going to go away before others. And so what happens is a lot of these cards synergize with other cards that are on the deck later. So every time you play this game, you have this evolving puzzle where you're like, oh, I could go here, then I could go here, because these two cards work well together. But you might play a whole round with a different group, and those cards are never out at the same time.
Interesting.
So the reason why I love this is it's easy for other people, and if I play it with new groups, I feel like I'm playing a different game.
It still stays fresh for you.
It stays fresh for me, but it's easy for them.
I was going to give you a lot of junk for this one because I don't even remember it. And I was like, that's kind of a bad sign.
It is a bad sign.
But if you remember it, as you talk to me about it, I can see why you like that. It's definitely super gateway.
Yeah, although once you get towards the end, all the abilities are way more complicated.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's the reason why I like it, is because every game feels different to me, but it still feels easy for other people.
It's definitely nice to have a gateway worker placement sort of up your sleeve.
What is your go-to, if you had someone who came in and has played nothing but Uno and you wanted to play a worker placement game, what would you play with them?
Well, traditionally people say things like
Stone Age,
Lords of
way
Waterdeep.
Fiddly. No one cares about Dungeons and Dragons off the street.
I've had pretty good luck with Asking for Troubles, but usually not as like a gateway game.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean,
there's not a lot of market for that.
Yeah, so it is kind of nice to have, and like I said, I don't remember this one well, but as you describe it, it starts to ring a bell. It is nice to have one that's that light because that has taken over the hobby. There's so much worker placement coming out every year. If you're trying to get someone into gaming, they definitely need to learn this genre of games.
Yeah, and this aspect of like, it's easy. I could play it with anybody.
Yeah.
But it evolves, or it's in a way that the gamers feel like a different game. You're going to see that little nugget show up in a much higher one.
Interesting.
But there you go. Fable Fruit 56. I could have you name this game in 2 words. Gamer bingo.
Rise of Augustus.
Oh, that was a bad clue. Great guess, though.
You're fired, buddy.
Okay, gateway bingo.
Gateway bingo. Shoot, there's a newer one, right?
Oh, yeah.
What's the
Oh,
new
yeah,
one?
what was that new one that we were just talking about?
I feel like
there's
there's a couple that are kind
This
of
one's
doing
older,
the same
though.
thing. Rise of Augustus is the first one that comes
Bingo
to
with
mind.
auctions.
Oh, Super Mega Lucky Box.
No, but that was the other one. That was
There's no auctions in that, though. Why was I thinking?
But that's the one. That's the other one we were just talking about. The other bingo.
Yeah, that's the new.
So Rise of Augustus, which is now Via Magica.
Oh, okay.
That got reprinted last year.
Oh, I'm glad I have
They
the old
changed some of
one.
the rules. Yeah, me too. And then, yeah, Super Mega Lucky Box.
That's another bingo one, but there's no auctions in that. Okay, I'm brain farting. I don't know.
Yeah.
You tell me. What do we got? Oh my gosh.
Dude, I want to play that. The Price is Right. Wow. Because you should have guessed that.
You should have said Gen Con Game Show.
Wow. I want the other people to try to guess.
Well, for me, that would have been the greatest clue because they ran this as like a game show that people could sit and watch. And then like how much money you had, I think, was up on the screen behind you.
Up on the game shows up there, I have my Game of 49 hat that they
Me
have me wear.
too, because I got to play it.
Did I give you the green one?
I got a green
I won
one.
though.
Yeah, I think you won. But I played it, and I got a hat for playing as well.
That game show was fun.
And there's a little audience and stuff. It was a great idea.
It was great because the audience could see how much money everyone had.
Yes,
but
exactly.
But you can't. It was
Exactly.
It was really fun.
Yes.
We should run.
Because you would be like bluffing as if like you had a lot of money. You'd be like, yeah, 20, 21, 22, whatever. And then the audience starts like snickering because they know like you're about to run out of cash. And you're like, shh, quiet.
You're giving away my secrets.
I feel like this game should always be played as in the game show format. Yeah. This is a great game. Yeah. This is, okay, I don't see this as bingo. I see this as gamers Connect 4. Connect 4.
Yeah, I guess it's more Connect
because
4.
you're trying to Connect 4, but instead of just dropping
See,
stuff.
I told you, terrible clue.
Yes, it was a horrible clue. I might not be debunk your choices, but I'll debunk your clues.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But yeah, you try to get 4 in a row, but instead of just dropping them into the little contraption, you're bidding for each
Here's another
spot.
little known thing about this game.
Yeah.
It works well with 2. Because
really, I
yes,
don't know if I've played it with 2 at all.
So in this game, it's an economic game in disguise, right? You're trying to get 4 in a row, but every chip you have on the board, you get $7 when some of these like payout cards come up.
certain payout cards.
So it's basically an economic game.
Yeah.
But you're just auctioning off numbers. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
But with 2, after you get past 7 chips on the board and you start getting 8, 9, 10, you actually get less and less money every time.
Oh, really?
So actually, you kind of you can't just go off and just be auctioning like crazy. It makes the 2-player game amazing in this.
Was that in the original version?
It was.
It was. Okay, see, I don't know if I've ever actually played it with 2.
Because you probably were like, why would I ever want to play an auction game?
Right.
It's probably the only auction game I've ever played that works well with 2.
Do you like it as much at 2 as at 4 or 5?
It's probably not, but it feels different.
Yeah.
Because you just have to think differently.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's awesome.
You should have made this number 49, man. What a missed opportunity. God, you're
God,
fired, dude.
That was
bad
terrible.
clues, bad placement on the list.
Yeah, I should have made this 49. Well, that just means, okay.
Last minute swap.
Here's the deal. If this was higher than the next one, you would have shot me.
Okay. Fair enough.
Game of 49, number 55. So you want a game of 49 to be number 49. And I just said that you would have shot me if it was ahead of this one.
So this is one you think I really like.
This is the absolute best 2-player card game in the history of Earth.
Holy crap.
It's light. It's older. It's
2-player only.
out in the 90s.
Lost Cities? How is Lost Cities this low? Give me a break. It's one of the best 2-player games ever.
It is one of the best 2-player card games ever. That's the newest cover right there.
All right, this is how I'm debunking this, so this one should be way higher. Like Splendor was like a few back too. Both of those should be higher.
Yeah.
Spoiler for my top 100, obviously. But they're just like flawless games.
They are.
The only thing
in
about
fact, I played this past weekend.
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
Yeah, this consistently comes out every year since whenever I've had it, probably
probably
15
should be
years
higher.
ago. Yeah, it probably should, you think? Okay, the only count against it is a little mathy with the scoring.
Yeah, the
Some
scoring's a
people
little
don't like
fiddly
that.
where you got to get over 20, and then after 20 you minus
You
this.
subtract, then you
and it's multiplied by
multiply.
2, 3, or 4.
But once you've played a couple times, that just becomes second nature.
It does make it harder to teach, though.
So I don't think of it as fiddly, but that's the one count against it. There's other 2-player games that have a similar feel, like
have
a
you
push and
played
pull.
the new version that has the 6-color expansion built in?
Yeah. So it was
Purple.
like, oh, purple. So at some point,
It was black in the like,
yeah,
the
BGG
expansion.
was selling the black ones.
yeah.
I have that, and I think I have like the mat that
newest
goes
version,
with it too.
Has a double-sided board with the purple. It makes the game feel very different. I don't necessarily like it better, but I do. If I am going to play a 3-game match like you're supposed to, I'll usually play that in the 3rd match.
Oh,
Because it just makes it feel different. I like the tightness of the other.
I like it with less.
I do too, but it makes it just.
And I agree that you should always play 3 rounds because there can be a little bit of the luck of the draw with this as well.
Yeah.
So those are a couple counts against it. I think some people have it. I have to admit, a big part of what I love about this is just the nostalgia of it because I've been playing it for 15 years or whenever I found it somewhere on sale or something.
It's probably not. See, it's a weird thing, right?
But 54
it should be
seems
high
low.
because you've played it a million times, but at the same time, it drops because I've played it a million times.
You feel like you take it for granted or something?
Or it's just like, I don't know, like, I don't know.
Like, what's better than this? I mean, that's in the same realm. I mean, obviously there's games that are better than Lost Cities, but as far as that little 2-player card game,
Yeah, it's one of the best.
I mean, the element
the
of like temporarily storing things, but then the risk that comes from someone taking that if you leave it out for
Temporary
too long.
storage. We just did that last night with Enchanted Plumes.
Yes, exactly. And as we played Enchanted Plumes, we were like, this is like Lost Cities.
Yeah.
Because Lost Cities is like this touchstone. Like, you compare everything else that's 2-player and card-driven to it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe it should've
54.
been
Come on, man.
So the last 2 you thought should be higher.
Well, Game of 49 I just thought should be higher because I like the idea of 49 and 49. Lost Cities is just, it's such a classic. And it's still around. We talked about Acquire and how, like, it continues to be reprinted, continues to be, like, relevant 60 years later.
Yeah.
I think Lost Cities is going to be relevant 60 years later.
I think so too.
I don't think people are going to stop playing it. It might get tweaked or fine-tuned or reskinned or who knows going forward.
If you like card games and you haven't played Lost Cities, just go get it.
It'll always be there.
Yeah. Lost Cities, 54.
Before you go on to the next one, in fact, we talked about the envelope last time.
What's in the envelope for those that haven't seen it?
This is my predictions for what would be in your top 10. What does it say?
What?
Dan? Now, I didn't rank them, but I was like, these games are my predictions of what will be in his top 10. And I was convinced, here you go, camera 1. I was convinced that if they weren't in your top 10, they'd at least be in your top 20.
And it wasn't.
54.
Wow, you were way off.
You were way off. I call shenanigans. This should have been in your top 10, or at least your top 20. You love Lost Cities.
I think it was the last time I did my top 100 list, which was 7 years ago or 6 years ago.
Yeah, it should still be.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
That's insane.
So we debunked your guessing game.
No. This is all your failure. That's how I'm going to spin it.
Well, one of the top 10s.
Yeah, seriously.
Gone.
Interesting. So what's going to take Lost Cities'
Wow.
space? Well, tune in a few weeks when we
Speaking
get
of
there.
exploring the Lost Cities, the next one is an exploration game that came out last year that has deck building and worker placement.
Lost Ruins of Arnak, yeah. I need to play this a few more times, but so far I'm loving this game.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
They're coming out. The expansion's coming out around Essen.
I know, it's like, wait.
With new starter.
I'm not ready. I need to play the base more.
Everybody has a custom starter deck, which gives you new strategies.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I love this game.
Does it all.
This does it all.
It doesn't feel bloated.
No, it's very nice.
It's so elegant.
I love the fact that, like, even if you're out of cards, there's things you can do.
Yeah.
Or even if you're out of workers, there's things you can do with the cards.
Yeah, you can deck build if that's what you want to do. There's worker placement. There's tracks that you're trying to move up. And it does it all, and it fits it together without it feeling clunky or bloated or just like a box full of random mechanics. It all fits the theme.
And I love it
really
that, like,
slick.
at the beginning of the game, you always feel like, I'm never going to get anything done. And then towards the end, you have these humongous turns that you trigger a bunch of stuff, and you have these big turns that are really fun.
It escalates fast.
And the back side of the board feels so different from the front that you can't just, like, strategize to race up the track because it's so much harder to get up the track.
Yeah.
You're almost better off, like, going the Guardian strategy or something else.
And then there's, like, combat.
Yeah, the Guardians.
If you want to fight, and it has everything. You could sell this to, like, any gamer. You could be like, oh, it's this great exploration combat game. And they'd be like, oh, sweet. And some other gamer that you know that likes different things, you'd be like, it's a really slick worker placement game. And then some other guy, you'd be like, it's a great deck builder, man. And, it's like...
Then you get that guy that loves the draw euros. You're just racing up a track, man.
It's just point tracks. It's just tracks.
I'm trading. And then you're like the resource management guys. I'm trading the blue one in for the red one.
Exactly. It has all of those elements, but it doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, they threw everything in here and it's clunky.
And the crazy thing is they're both first-time designers.
And it doesn't take too long, too. It doesn't overstay its welcome.
It's like, 90.
Considering it's fitting all those elements
I
into
know.
one game, you'd think it'd be 4 hours.
So much for me only liking light games.
Yeah,
This thing has a lot going on with it.
It does. It's not like heavy, but it definitely has a lot going on. Okay, good choice. Not as good as Lost Cities, but good choice.
2 losts in a row, and that was not planned. Lost Ruins of Arnak, number 53. My number 52 is a tile placement game where you're building this sort of village up. But in order to do that, you've got this sort of action selection wheel that you're going around and grab different tiles. And at the end of the round, you're going to try to score something specific. And if you can't score it, you get pummeled punishingly with negative points. This is from one of the most well-known designers in the world, where this kind of feels like one of his games, but at the same time it kind of doesn't. And it's one of your favorites of this designer, if not your favorite.
Oh my gosh.
And there's been 3 editions, and the 3rd edition just came out.
Okay, Carpe Diem?
Yeah.
All right, people are watching this go, come on, Greg, how'd you not get this? You keep showing me stuff ahead of time. I got to stop looking until you're like, it's good, you can look. All right, this is too low.
I'm seeing a theme here.
I mean, it is. It's one of the best felt. It's so elegant. That's one of the things I like about Lost Cities, right? It's one of the things I like about Splendor. All these games, but this one is elegant and still not heavy, but fairly heavy. I mean, it is hard to consistently do well in this game.
Oh yeah.
Because and it forces you to be strategic and tactical. Just the way you set up that initial board with like that frame, you go, okay, I know what I need to focus on.
Yep.
I need to get these things
Every
done.
game is different.
And then as you play it, you suddenly realize, okay, I can't do these things I thought I was going to do. I have to think tactically. I have to think on my feet. That guy just took the tile I needed. She just emptied out that whole spot. Now I got to rethink my plan. But it's not brain burner. It's not long as a result of that. It's still like a fast paced
The point
play.
selection is my favorite part.
There's just so much to consider in such a short, relatively short, tight little
This
package.
might be my favorite game of his.
It might be mine too. And I think like most Feld fanatics are going to go, what? What about
Burgundy.
Castles of Burgundy?
I like
what
Burgundy.
about Trajan? What about...
it's like, if I want to play Trajan, I'll just play 5 Tribes. Because it's like, it's very different, but it's Mancala. Or even Crusaders, Thy Will Be Done, I like better.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I don't know if it's better than Trajan, but it is a good one. But yeah, this one feels, it still feels Feldy.
It does. It does.
But yeah, it feels unique to his. I haven't played everything he's done. He's come out with 25, 30 games at this point, probably.
Yeah.
But I've played 15 of them, probably.
Yeah.
And it just feels like he's offering something different here. The first edition is ugly. It's awful.
I tend to like his 60-minute or less games better.
I guess
Because usually
I'd agree with that.
Usually when they're more than that, he always has like a gazillion tiles.
Yeah.
And you always have to keep them separated.
10 different ways to score. And
it's like, it just...
because I can play Castles of Burgundy in less than an hour, I think I'll agree with you.
With 2,
With
probably
2,
could.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll agree with you. Yeah, I mean, everything he does is solid. And some of his stuff is just stellar, and this is one of them for sure.
So you're just mad that it's not higher.
Yeah, I mean,
the last 3 now. We've got a trend, and you're not going to say
I think it's okay if Arnak was where it was. That's fine. I mean, I need to play it more before I know kind of how it ranks in the pantheon of games.
This
for me.
Lost Cities and Game of 49.
Well, and Game of 49 was just for the joke. I don't care. That's valid for Game of 49. But yeah, Carpe Diem, I mean, it's a lot of things you like too, because it is sort of a spatial puzzle.
Yeah.
It's tile laying. It doesn't overstay its welcome.
Carcassonne on steroids.
It's not just another worker placement game.
Yeah.
Which is so many Euros come out, you're like, okay, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
This feels like it offers
Even
something
the 3rd
new.
edition is still ugly to standards of today.
But the 1st edition is so ugly, and it actually
hinders the play.
It hinders your ability to play it effectively because there's building colors. Like there's golden brown buildings and gold buildings,
almost
and you're like,
if Feld comes out with a game, it has to be ugly now. Can you name one game that he's come out with that actually is nice looking?
Aquasphere is not bad looking.
Yeah, and maybe Merlin, but those are Queen games.
Yeah, Merlin's not
That's
bad
probably
looking.
why.
Yeah, Queen games tend to step it up. Oracle of Delphi isn't bad looking, but I would love to see.
But have you ever looked at a game and went,
No.
This is beautiful. It's got to be a Feld.
You love Feld despite the way the games look.
Yeah.
Because the mechanics are so strong.
Yeah, but imagine if they were strong and it looked amazing.
Well, like Oracle of Delphi is this big, sweeping, like mythological, epic adventure game. I'm like, imagine if Simon put their stamp on this, or some company with decent production values. This game could be like this huge hit, but instead it's like okay looking. And it's a shame because his mechanics are better than okay looking. And in this case, better than ugly.
Yes.
So play this even though it's ugly. I swear if you're colorblind though, or even in low light for anyone, you're going to have difficulty with this thing.
Yeah, but it is awesome.
There's 2 types of tiles in this that you have to keep separate: the dark green and the darker green tiles.
This one they did black backgrounds.
I know. I was an early adopter, and in this case, it was a bad idea to be an early adopter.
Number 52, Carpe Diem. Next 51 is Calico. This is going to be an interesting conversation because we just finished playing Cascadia.
Cascadia is just better.
It is better.
But you made this list maybe before you played it?
I had made this list before I played Cascadia, and I haven't quite played Cascadia enough times to displace this.
Yeah, I need to play it a couple more times too, but the first couple of impressions with Cascadia is that it's absolutely better. And the reason we compare them is it's the same
Publisher.
Yeah. Different designer?
Different designer.
That's right. But it also has that same feel of taking these tiles and placing this thing.
A very puzzly
It scores
tile
differently
placement
every
game.
time. I think with this one, there's a lot of just, you can find yourself in turn after turn of like, I just need this tile.
Exactly.
And you're not getting the tile you need, and then you just feel stuck.
And there's even a variant in the rulebook for this that says, if you want a more statistical, normalized variant, you take a certain amount of sets of all the tiles, depending on the amount of players, and you put them in the bag. And that's the only way I do play.
Okay.
Even it does improve
helps,
that.
But
you still could be at the end of the game being like, I need the blue squiggly line tile.
And it's just
and
not
it's not
coming.
Gonna come out. And if it does come out, someone's going to take it.
And because this is like a framed, like tile, whatever, tableau, whatever you want to call it that you're building, you get stuck. Whereas Cascadia pulls the frame away. It allows you just build whichever way works the best. You might not have the ideal options available to you, but you can always do something interesting with what's there. Plus, they have those little pine cones that you can mitigate with.
Plus, you're fighting against other players for like sizes.
So to me, it's just better.
Yeah, I would.
And I know we've talked about this, and you've said
I like this a lot. Even
you like it, even with those things. But I'm still surprised it's this high, or even on the list at all, because you recognize it's flawed.
Because every time I play it, I just stare at this puzzle,
you like the brain
and my
burn.
brain just loves. This is I think this is a heavier puzzle than Cascadia.
It is. It's more it's more challenging.
And so I would probably still never get rid of this, which is surprising because usually I would never keep two games that are this similar.
It's more challenging and less fun.
But for me,
as a result of that challenge,
I know.
I don't mind a challenge if it's still fun and it still feels rewarding. But sometimes this one, it's just like, I'm just having bad luck, and the tile's just not there. And I've planned well, I've played well, but I'm still just kind of hosed.
Yeah.
And that doesn't feel good. I don't know.
I love the competing goals here.
I think it's a solid game.
I love that's like, if I'm going to get this one perfect, I have to not get this one. There's just more here.
But that exists in Cascadia, but just in it feels just more open and less confined.
If I had played Cascadia a few more times, I've only played it 3 times.
Assuming you continue to like it as much or more.
It would have probably just kicked this off the list because they're too similar.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that I would not get rid of this, which is weird because I get rid of one every time I keep one.
Yeah, but
this should be the natural one to get rid of.
Just because this is your top 100 doesn't mean 101, 102, 103 aren't also games you love.
Yeah. And every time I play this, my brain still loves it.
You like that.
But I do see the shortcomings. Yeah. But I'm okay. I don't know. I guess I'm just like, I like the puzzle. I like the puzzle so much that it's like, whatever.
Do you win all the time?
I don't know.
I'm wondering if you've just had enough good luck and won enough that you haven't been on the other side of that.
What you're saying is that I'm just lucky when I win. Because that's exactly what you just said.
No, I'm saying that you can have bad luck in this game. And if you've played it even half a dozen times and it's never felt stuck.
If that's the only problem, and that many people have about this game, you think they would have come out with some sort of variant to make that part of the thing be a little more rounded of an edge.
I imagine the designer's just like, I want it to be challenging. And so if you're stuck, maybe you should have planned ahead better. I mean, you could make that argument, but I think that...
How many tiles do you hold this game? Do you hold 3, and you play one, and then you draw one?
Yeah, something like that.
So maybe you're supposed to hold a tile that you think you're going to need later and not use it. I don't know.
I'm sure, look, I feel like I think it comes across that I'm completely dumping on this game. I think it's a good game, but Cascadia to me just just
I was surprised
rectified the things I didn't like.
I was surprised that when you did take this home and you did play with 2, that you still disliked. Like 3 and 4 is frustrating because the tile comes out that you want.
I don't dislike it. It's a solid game, and I do recognize that. Hey, like a lot of when you get stuck, part of that is on you, and the game just forces you to choose between competing objectives, which I often like. But so, like I said, it's a solid game. It's a good game. I wouldn't dissuade people from trying it. I would play it if people wanted to play it anytime. But Cascadia, to me, fixes the issues that it has. Granted, it does make it a lighter experience as a result, but that doesn't bother me. Because I still think there's still so much good in it that I don't mind if it's a tick lighter. And in some ways, people would say it's a tick less fiddly and a tick less lucky.
Yeah.
So you think if we did this again a year from now, and Cascadia continues to perform for you the way it is, this would probably get dumped and Cascadia would replace it.
Yep.
By the way,
I would still keep this and still play it, though.
There's no way this is better than Carpe Diem. Give me a break. They're both tile spatial puzzles with different ways to score every time.
They're both
better?
very puzzly. They are both very puzzly. I think this one's a harder, more crunchy puzzle.
Really? Than Carpe Diem?
I think so.
There's so many things to factor in with Carpe Diem.
I can actually talk during Carpe Diem. I don't think I say a word.
You just head down, focus.
That's how you play this game.
Well, even more reason to like Carpe Diem better. You can socialize a little bit.
I'm an introvert.
Give me a game I don't have to talk to anybody and I'm happy.
51, Calico. All right, there you have 60 to 51, and I'm kind of happy that one of your top 10s got shot down.
This is insane to me. I think next year you're going to make this list, if you make this list, unless it's going to pop back up again.
I don't think I'm going to do this list.
Well, whenever you do it again.
You are going through how much of a pain in the butt this is and how hard it is to put a list like this together.
The viewers love it, though.
Let alone how hard it is to produce something like this.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to come up with the top 100, but I'm excited for next week.
Yeah.
Because we're in the top half now.
That's true, too.
Yeah.
So there you have it, 60-51. You're going to hopefully come back next week and see us do the next 10. And in between that, I will come up with the 50-41 without Greg on my own and tell you more about those games. So until next time, it's been the Game Boy Geek.
Greg Dixon.
We'll see you next week. Game Toppers not only transforms your existing table to a high-quality gaming solution, they now offer full leg kits and dining cover solutions for the full table application. Paired with their amazing, thematic, premium stitch edge mats from noted board game artists like Vincent Dutray, collapsible cup holders, and really cool accessories, it's a complete system that upgrades every game you play. Go to GameToppersLLC.com or click the link below.